You know, I've been clearing roads for the state for over a decade now. Most folks think we're crazy. The loneliness, the bitter cold that seeps right into your bones, the endless black top lit by nothing but your own headlights for hours. Honestly, I loved it. The quiet, the simplicity. It was just me, the rumble of the engine, and the scrape of the blade. At least, that's how it used to be. But everything changed last winter during the worst whiteout I've ever seen. It was the kind of storm that doesn't feel natural. The snow wasn't falling, it was being thrown at the earth. One minute you could see the tail lights of a car half a mile ahead. The next, you couldn't see the hood of your own truck. I was assigned to County Line 9, a 7-mile stretch of 2-lane highway that cuts through the most empty frozen farmland you can imagine. Nothing out there but silence and shadows. My shift started at 10 p.m. The storm had a 3-hour head start. It is ready on the ground and coming down harder by the minute. I called into dispatch, got my road confirmation, and hit into the wall of white. The first couple hours were normal. Brutal, but normal. Keep the blade down, hug the shoulder of the shoulder line, try not to get blown into the ditch by the wind. It was a fight, but it was a fight I knew. Then around midnight, I saw it. Just past the marker for mile 33, a dark-colored car, a sedan, pulled over on the shoulder. Its hazard lights were on, blinking this weak dull orange through the curtain of snow. Every instinct said someone was in trouble. Then I grabbed the radio. Dispatch, this is Plow 9. I've got a vehicle looks like a Toyota or something. It's stranded on the shoulder at mile 33 on County Line. Occupant unknown. So I want to request a welfare check or petrol assist to figure it out. At this point, the dispatcher's voice was so calm. Plow 9, copy. We have no distress calls or reports of disabled vehicles on your road. So I'll log it and send the unit when conditions permit. It didn't sit right with me, leaving someone out in that? Here? I don't know, bro. But protocol is protocol. If dispatch didn't have a call, maybe the driver got a tow and left it. So I nudged the plow back into gear and kept going. For another 40 minutes, it was just me in the storm. Then as I came up on mile 41, my blood went cold. It was the same car. I'm not saying it looked like the same car. I'm saying it was the exact same car, same make, same color, same angle on the shoulder. Those same tired hazard lights blinking in that same slow, pathetic rhythm. My brain short-circuited. This was impossible. I'd been moving forward the whole time, plowing the only lane. No one had passed me. There were no turn-offs between 33 and 41. There was no physical way that car could be ahead of me. I slammed the brakes, the truck shattering as it slid to stop. I stared, my heart hammering against my ribs. I keyed the radio again, and my voice didn't sound like my own. Dispatch, Plow 9. I need to correct my last. I'm now at mile 41 on County Line 9. I'm looking at the same stranded vehicle. I repeat, a longer pause this time. I could almost hear the skipperism. Plow 9, confirm your location. You're reporting the same vehicle at mile 41? It's likely a second stranded motors. Visibility is extremely poor. Use caution. He wasn't getting it. The logic wasn't connecting. But he was right about one thing. I had to be sure. Then I threw on my parka, pulled my head down tight, and stepped out into the screaming wind. It was like being punched in the chest. The cold was so sharp, it hurt to breathe. I trudged toward the car, my flashlight been bouncing in the swirling snow. Up close, it was a genetic four-door. Ice crusted everywhere. I knocked hard on the driver's side glass, nothing. I swiped my glove across the windshield, melted a little peephole in the frost, and shone my light inside. Empty. The driver's seat, the passenger seat, the back seat, all empty. But on the dashboard, the little hazard light button was pushed in. And in the ignition, the keys were just hanging there. I reached out and touched the hood, ice cold. This car hadn't run in hours, maybe all night. A wave of pure primal ruggedness washed over me. This wasn't a breakdown, this was a prop. So I ran back to the truck. I readied in, my words stumbling over each other. Dispatch, the vehicle is unoccupied. Keys are in the ignition. Engine is cold. Something is not right here. Copy Plow 9. Continue road. We will investigate at first light. Then I continued my road. I drove, but every nerve was screaming. I couldn't look away from the shoulder. Every shadow looked like a sedan. Every flicker of my own lights played tricks on me. And then at mile 49, there it was again. My hands clutched the wheel so tight, my jaws ached. I didn't stop. I just stared straight ahead and drove past, feeling those dim blinking lights track me as I went. I called it again, my voice flat. They told me it was stress, fatigue, the storm playing with my head. But I knew The car was following me, or it was waiting for me, and I was the one catching up to it over and over. It became a nightmare loop. Mile 55, mile 61, mile 67. Each time I'd crest the hill or round a gentle bend, and there would be a dark stain on the white shoulder. It's silent, rhythmic pulse cutting through the snow. It was hurting me or leading me somewhere. Finally, near mile 72, I broke. I just pulled over and killed my engine. The silence was deafening, just the moan of the wind and the tick of my own hazard lights. I looked in the rear view, nothing but my fresh tracks. I looked ahead, 100 yards up, it waited. I sat there for what felt like an hour, just breathing, trying to think. This wasn't real. It couldn't be. I had to prove it to myself. So I started the truck and crept forward. 5 miles an hour, the distance closed, 50 yards, 30, the details became clearer, and that's when the true fear set in. It was too clear. In a blinding blizzard, this car was a perfect, unwavering silhouette. I pulled up right beside it. I didn't want to, but I had to know. I got out again, the wind almost taking me off my feet. I stumbled to the driver's window, wiped it clean and looked inside, empty. I checked the passenger side, empty. The back seat, nothing. The snow around the car was a perfect, unbroken blanket. No tire tracks coming in, no tire tracks going out. The car was just sitting there as if it had materialized out of the storm itself. That was all the proof I needed. So I didn't run, but I walked backwards to my truck, never taking my eyes off it, half expecting the door to swing open. I got in, threw it in gear, and didn't look back. I finished my route, seeing nothing but those blinking lights in my mind. The next day back at the depot, I filed a formal report. I gave him every mile marker, every detail. My supervisor, Frank, listened with a patient smile that didn't reach his eyes. He said he'd send a crew to check it out. 2 days later, he called me into his office. They'd driven the length of County Line 9 twice. The storm had passed, the sky was clear. They found nothing. No car, no debris, no footprints, no tire tracks frozen in the slush, nothing. "You been getting enough sleep, Mike?" Frank asked with leaning back in his chair. "Maybe the night shift is getting to you. Want some time off?" I told him I was fine, but I wasn't. I started having nightmares, not of monsters, but of empty cars and silent. Flashing lights, I'd wake up in a cold sweat, my heart racing. A week later, I begged for a route transfer. They gave me a city route, lots of straight lights and traffic. I avoided the County Line 9 like the plague. I tried to bury it, to tell myself it was a hallucination brought on by exhaustion and isolation. I almost convicted myself. Then about 6 months later, I was grabbing a Lucy coffee at a 24-hour truck stop. I got a talking with an older guy named Carl, plow driver from neighborly county. We swapped the stories about bad winters, and I mentioned offhand how rough County Line 9 could get. His face just shut down. The friendly shudder vanished. He got real quiet, stirring his coffee for a long time. Then he looked at me, really looked at me. "You ever see anything strange out there on Line 9? He asked, his voice low. The coffee turned to acid in my stomach. "Why do you ask?" "Just tell me." So I did. I told him about the car, the blinking lights, the impossible jumps, the cold engine, the untouched snow. He just nodded slowly, like it confirmed a dreaded suspicion. "Drove that road back in '98, he said, not meeting my eyes. "Saw the same damn thing. Same car, same lights, always ahead of you, no matter what you did." I reported it. They thought I was drunk. He told me he knew of 3 other guys who'd run that route over the years. One quit the next day. One switched to daylight maintenance. The third guy was different. He saw the car, just like we did, but he didn't let it spook him. He kept driving Line 9. He joked about his ghost car, said it was just part of the scenery after a while. Then one January night, he didn't clock back in. They found his plow the next morning, parked nearly on the shoulder at mile 33, engine running, headlights on, heat blasting, driver's door wide open. He was gone. No sign of a struggle, no note. They searched the ditches, the fields, the frozen creek beds for weeks, but nothing. He vanished like smoke. Carl finally looked up at me, and his expression was a mix of pity and grim warning. Whatever the thing is out there is not just passing through, it's hunting and it's patient. It will wait until you get brave, until you stop one too many times. I left the truck stop with his words echoing in my head. They haven't left. I drive my new route now, the one with the lights and noise. But sometimes, one the blackest, quietest nights, when the snow starts to fall heavy again, I'll catch a glimpse of headlights in my rearview. They don't move. They don't get closer. They just sit there, far back in the gloom, watching. And when I look again, they're gone. I tell myself it's another plow, or a tree, or my eyes playing tricks, but I know the truth. I know what's still out there on counter line 9. A dark sedan with lazy, blinking lights, sitting on a frozen shoulder, waiting in silence. It's waiting for the next lonely driver to see it, to wonder about it, to finally get out and walk up that locked door. And I can't stop thinking about that missing driver. I wonder if he did stop that last night. I wonder if he got out just like I did and walked toward those lights for what he thought would be one last look. I wonder if that's what it wanted all along, for someone to be brave enough or scared enough or curious enough to finally try the handle. If y'all love this story, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and make sure to support the channel. Thanks for watching. See you in the next story. Stay safe out there. Love y'all. Cheers.